Transition Thursdays. This is my weekly podcast or broadcast of issues that relate to business ownership and ownership through transition events, whether that's management buyouts, business sales to competitors or to private equity, and all the other things that go into a transaction, including the transition planning that occurs up front for a very successful transition. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe or connect, leave a comment, share some thoughts with me and with others that see these videos, because I think it's very helpful to business owners and their advisors when we're talking about some of these topics. So this year, I wanted to make a commitment that I'm going to produce these every Thursday. I've been a bit hit and miss, and some of my business owner friends and advisory friends have said, hey, where have you been the last few weeks? I'd like to see more of those videos. So I have made a commitment as of this week that we're going to do these every week going forward. But this week I wanted to talk about these major changes politically that are happening in the US, that have happened in the US, and that are going to be happening in Canada in the next few months. Because these will have dramatic impacts on the business community on both sides of the border. And we're already seeing that. There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty here in Canada by private companies, business owners and their advisors about what the potential of tariffs means, not just Trump tariffs on Canadian businesses, but the countervailing tariffs that Canada looks to impose on American businesses selling products and services coming into Canada. I, as a free trade proponent and having lived and worked overseas for much of my career, I hate to see these sorts of things take away from great entrepreneurship and great ideas and business growth ideas and more cross-border trade, because that's really, I think, where companies will get the most out of their investment. The more we restrict trade, my experience says that the more we are likely to restrict business overall. So that's my overriding, trying to be non-political about it, but that's my view of the impact that these tariffs are going to have. But what's it going to mean to transition events? I mean, that's my firm's major business. That's what we advise our clients on. And I can tell you, this is going to be a tough year for transactions, because with uncertainty, you're going to get buyers that are going to be more cautious. That probably means either lower overall values or values that may look high. The kind of headline figure could still look high, but you'll see more push for that contingent component on the back end of a transaction. Earnouts, vendor notes, things like that protect the buyer more than they protect the seller in terms of the future variability of earnings. So I see that as being a major impact on this year's transaction market. And so what is my advice? I think there's still business owners, we're all getting older every year, and there are business owners that need to transition their business. So what is the best course of action? Well, I think first and foremost is to improve your reporting and your financial controls so that when the time comes to transact, the numbers are all there, they add up, they balance, they are presentable, your budgets are realistic and can be supported in a discussion with a buyer. Take the time to think about improving your management team, improve your documentation, improve other areas of your business that buyers are looking at to kind of poke holes in when it comes to transactions in the mid-market. So spend that time to really improve your business and get ready to go to market. My advice is also really cull down the potential buyers list. I think there's lots of firms out there that like to talk about going to market and sending out information to 200, 300 different buyers. I think now's the time to get really focused on a very small group of highly competitive buyers that understand your industry and maybe understand your business specifically. Build competition. I'm not saying don't build competition, but go to a smaller group and run a very efficient process. Because I think you'll find, and our experience shows, that you can still get tremendous results when selling a business when you have a small universe of very highly selected potential suitors. I do think management buyouts are going to play a larger role going forward. I'd love to see more management buyouts. I think in the Canadian context, we don't see as many for financing reasons, for a lack of appetite for managers to really behave and think like owners. They want, in my mind, they seem to want a lot of the upside without the downside risk. That makes it tough for a business owner to pass on a business and maintain the risk themselves. So I'd love to see more management buyouts. I think there's some great opportunities. There's some great financial partners now in Canada that support management buyouts, and I think there's an opportunity there as well. And I think you have to be a bit more creative to get deals done at the moment. Flip side of that, if you're not looking to transition your business, it's probably a good time to be a buyer. If you've got a business that is strong and has stable cash flows and isn't going to be too dramatically impacted by this risk of tariffs, maybe now's the time to look at a couple strategic acquisitions, whether that's cross-border provincially, possibly into the US, although those come with risks as well. But now's a good time to be a buyer. So think about that. And keep an open mind. We're going to have to all be a little flexible this year, I think, as we digest the changes that are coming down the pipeline. So with that, I'll leave it for this week. Next week will probably be a little shorter, but I wanted to sort of start the year with some broader thoughts on where the market's going. So as I said at the start, hit the subscribe button, connect with me on LinkedIn, leave a comment, and get involved in the conversation, because I think we all benefit from some interaction this year in particular with any of these transition related or acquisition M&A related topics. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of the day and rest of the week. I will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.